All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Hat and Beard Show. Sorry about that. It is Monday, May 19th, 2025. We are in the just the slog of the off season, you guys. I'm happy to have you here. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. That's what we love about you. Today, guys, we are going to be having a bit of a condensed episode. We'll talk more about that here in a little bit. We're going to run through a couple of one little tiny news story. The NFL owners, according to sportingnews.com, the NFL owners to vote on Lions rule proposal that would drastically change the NFL playoffs. So a little tweak the Lions are trying to propose that could have big playoff implications for the future of the Detroit Lions. Then we're going to be rolling over to a little bit of older news. It came out Wednesday afternoon, well after we had wrapped up for the week last week. But today we're going to talk about it with you guys, see how you're feeling about the Lions 2025 full schedule release. That's right. We're going to painstakingly go through all 18 games, 18 weeks, 17 games. Spoiler alert, we're going to go 17-0. Sorry, but that's just the way the cookie crumbles. We'll go ahead and kind of poke things around, see what we see. Kind of a couple of games that jump out to us. Also, I totally called, even though I thought we were going to get the Packers for the storyline purposes of the Thanksgiving Day game. Something inside of my balls was telling me it's time for us to play the New York Giants. So we will get Big Blue on Thanksgiving. And if the time allows it, we're going to be reading the Lions NFL schedule, the non-NFC North opponents. We might take a look around at that. Also, guys, big news. Jared Goff and Mrs. Goff announced that they're pregnant. So Jared Goff will be expecting a child here very, very soon. We're all very excited about that. So just a bloop of news to pop up with you guys real quick there. Down in the chat. Good morning, Chase. How you doing this morning, bud? Guys, real quick, if you haven't already, if you don't mind, liking the video, subscribing to the channel if you're new here. The number one way for you to be able to be alerted and engage with the morning show is to ring that notification bell. That way you can partake in all of the festivities that we have running up to the start of the regular season, where we will be expanding to a 5-day a week show. That'll be a lot for me, but hey, I'm here to bring you guys these top flight content. And then the number one thing you can do to help the channel grow is share this video around with all your friends. I completely understand not wanting to be affiliated with the Hat and Beard Show. I don't want to be affiliated with myself either, let alone tell everybody on your well-groomed and highly cultivated social media image of being a fan of this channel. So what you can do is just share this, click the share button, copy the link down on your clipboard, just leave it as is. The algorithm can't tell any difference, and it kind of helps the channel grow. So now that that's all out of the way, guys, let's go ahead and get into the show.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Detroit City. I'm Chasing Chase. How you guys doing this morning? So before we get into too much here, guys, I'm going to be running a little bit faster than normal. Walks into the room, theme music kicks in. Hell yeah, dude. That's exactly what happens, dude. Mr. Detroit, Rock City. We are going to be running a shorter episodes this week. I'm going to try and keep it to about a half hour, 45 minutes. Pulling 410s so that I can have a long weekend here with the holiday weekend. Also, and I'll continue to kind of remind you guys as it comes about. Over the next few weeks, I'm going to be kind of spotty on when I can upload. Maybe we'll do some evening streams, but I got contract negotiations kicking off as early as next week. So my availability for the normal show time is going to be a little bit wonky, a little bit inconsistent, though come the end of June, as long as nothing really happens, nothing tragic or too outlandish happens. Come the end of June, we should be able to stabilize back into our normal upload schedule. Hopefully negotiations go swimmingly, but we will see. There's a lot of things up in the air. So I just wanted you all to be aware of that. So this week, short and condensed shows. As early as next week, we might be a little bit spotty on the uploads. Keep your eye on the community tab, though. I will keep you all abreast as to what is going on. Abreast. as to what is going on and when you can expect, theoretically, maybe we don't do a morning show, but we'll do an evening kind of stream just to kind of hang out, see how everybody's kind of doing that type of stuff. Just to keep you guys, a little satiated there. Been short my whole life, not a problem here. Tell him transfer to Jackson the negotiations. Well, see, that's the thing. There's nothing wrong with being short, dude. We all got our short kings we got to support. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you a couple of hearts in the chat. The transfer to Jacksonville would be with so I can't really divulge too much right now. But there's three pieces moving here. There's the union, there's the new company taking over to manage, and then there is the board of directors, which is hiring this other company to work. It's this weird kind of clusterfuck, man. I'm gonna be honest. It's kind of a clusterfuck, but I ain't shitting you, dude. I that move down someplace warm just sounds nicer and nicer the more we get into it, especially today when it's May 19th and it's a blistering 50 degrees outside here in sunny, gray mid-Michigan. All that global warming. I'd like a little bit of it right now. I am brisk, and my sweatshirts need to be put away for the year. I'm tired of working out with a pump cover on. I'd like the warm weather, please. All right, guys, so we're going to get into it right away here. SportingNews.com, NFL owners vote on Lions rule proposal that would drastically change the playoffs. The Detroit Lions have proposed a rule that would drastically change the structure of the NFL playoffs, and owners are set to vote on it this week. The rule proposal set forth by the Lions would reseed teams based on record after the first round of the playoffs. Owners are set to meet on Tuesday and Wednesday to put their votes for the change, according to ESPN's Adam Schefter, the Scheftmeister himself. Had the rule been in effect last season, the Lions would have played the LA Rams yet again in the divisional round instead of the Washington Commies, who instead would have faced the Philadelphia Eagles, thanks to Washington having a better regular season record than Los Angeles. Also on the docket is a vote that decides whether or not to ban the, quote, tushy pushy, the old tush push, that has been mastered by the Super Bowl champions, the greasy Philadelphia Eagles. The proposal, which wasn't voted on and instead tabled at the league meetings earlier this spring, is expected to have a vote on it this week as well. Boy, you gotta love that 6th grade reading level. The Green Bay Packers are the team responsible for proposing the tush push ban. When you look at the play, I would say I don't think it's a great football play. We've read this before. Matt LaFleur doesn't think it's a great play. I think it's a pussy play. It's more of a rugby play. Some of the injury concerns, we want to just kind of get out in front of them. It's a little bit more proactive. I'm tired of the NFL constantly hiding behind the guise of player safety. It's not really a thing. If player safety was first and foremost, in no way would Tua Tagovailoa be allowed to play another snap in the NFL. But the NFL, it's all about that lip service. It's all about lip service, and as long as the awfuls that watch the game, the affluent female white liberals, feel like the NFL is caring about the protection of their players, then they're just going to continue to pump money into it. But those of us who actually watch the game, we know that when it comes down to it, the safety of the players isn't necessarily the most paramount. As long as it makes some money, they'll let some dangerous plays slide. Again, I'm not a fan of them banning the hip drop tackle. I'm not a fan of all of the hitting a defenseless receiver. I like my football to be a little bit more black and blue, a little bit more of a grown man's game. So that does contrast the idea here of the tush push, because some people say, well, the tush push is the ultimate nut up or shut up play. I think the tush push is a backyard football play. I think that if you're going to be playing at this high of a level, you need to be able to execute slightly more advanced plays than the tush push. You know what I'm saying? Brent DeWitt. Good morning, Brent DeWitt. How you doing this morning? Hopefully, hey, man, we got everybody in here this morning just hanging out. That's what I like to see. I appreciate you guys tuning in, man, hanging out. This is what's up. I really appreciate it, dude. LaFleur also added that believes NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell is on the Packers' side in this argument. Really? The Roger Goodell going to side with the Packers? Goodell has not publicly stated he's for or against the ban, but at least seems to be open to it. Quote, there are a lot of plays where you see someone pulling or pushing somebody that are not the tush-push formation that I think do have an increased risk of injury, end quote. Also, I think the committee will look at that and come back in May with some proposals. Buffalo Bills head coach Sean McDermott expressed his support for the ban. Again, both proposals will be on the table to vote this week. So that's a little something that we can kind of keep an eye out for. We'll report on them as they come down. Well, as long as whatever comes out Tuesday, we'll talk about Wednesday, and then whatever happens Wednesday, well, we'll talk about on the following Monday. Let me know down in the comments or in the chat. Would you guys be interested? Oh, there's a hair flying around. Would you guys be interested in a show Monday morning? I know it's Memorial Day. It's a holiday. I don't know how you guys feel about that. I'm open to it as long as I can get all the yard work done Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Yeah, you know what I'm saying. Down in the chat. Good morning, Brent. That's right. Tush push is my go-to move. See, this is what I hate about the chat. I can't ever read it because there's all this wonky shit in the way. It's my go-to move at the bar. Yes, sir. Tush push is my go-to move everywhere. I'm like, come on now, get out of my way there, fellers. Get out of my way. If someone's in line at the way, I just get right up under them like I'm Jalen Hurts. And I just go, all right, Jason Kelsey. Let's just tush push our way into the end zone one more time. I tell him, but shh, don't worry about it. Just call me Jalen Hurts. Just call me Jalen Hurts. Just pretend I'm Jalen Hurts, right? So anyway, and also, hey, there's JG16. As we'd said earlier, announced that him and the old lady are expecting. So that's super duper awesome. All right, I know we're kind of seeming like we're flying through things right now, guys. We are. We're under time constraints. Got to pull the 410 so that we can have a long weekend. So my metrics are going to be absolutely dog water as far as watch time. So appreciate you guys stick around. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. Comment down below. Share this around with all your friends. Turn that notification bell on so that you can be part of the Hat and Beard Show. Here we got over at ESPN.com the Lions 2025 regular season. It was released last Wednesday, in the afternoon. Obviously, we'd already wrapped up the show. So let's go through this. Week number 1. We're going to be on CBS with a 4:30 game. There's nothing wrong with that. You kind of like that. Afternoon game week 1, you're not the top dog. You're not getting the opening ticket. And you're not getting the Sunday night and Monday night billing. But 4:30 game on a Sunday opening weekend, it's a bit of a change from what we're used to in Detroit. In Detroit, we're historically a 1 o'clock game. I mean, nobody wants to see the Lions, or at least never wanted to see the Lions up until now. And even more so, you're getting 2 NFC opponents, NFC divisional opponents, nonetheless, playing on CBS. Now, that is because early on in the season, all games are playing. No teams are on bye, and we've got a kind of a goofy slide-around schedule with all of the. I think Monday nights typically are a doubleheader to start the season. But so we got Green Bay right off the rip. We are opening right off the rip with the divisional opponents. Going to set the foundation early. Looks like here. So if we just kind of quickly peruse, we got 2 divisional opponents early on. And then we don't see another divisional opponent until week 9 when we see the Vikings. And then we are off divisional opponents until week 13. And then we're going to close the season 17 and 18 with divisional opponents. So drama kind of taken away. It'll come down to a big week 13 matchup against Green Bay for the King of the North. We can expect Chicago to not win a single game this season or any year that small PP Benedict Arnold Johnson, the trader in the Windy City, is at the helm of the Chicago Bears coaching staff. And then I'm just not expecting a lot out of Minnesota. Now, that could bite us. Last year, nobody expected much out of Minnesota either. And we see what they're able to do under the forehead. Say up Darnold. But McCarthy, I don't know if he's really that guy. So we're going to open the season. We're going to open the season on the road at Lambeau. Now, recently, this has been our home away from home. So the question is not only is the question how much do the Lions win by, but how many interceptions does Kirby Joseph have at Lambeau? Lambeau Field is Kirby Joseph's home away from home. I mean, he basically retired Aaron Rodgers from there. Aaron Rodgers ain't never been the same since Kirby Joseph retired him from Lambeau. So Let's go ahead. Week 1, obviously, we're going to trounce the Packers. So we're going to open the season with a nice 4:30 win at Green Bay, starting this division off 1-0. Then we're going to be right back home the following Sunday, a 1 o'clock game. Going to have a little bit of home cooking against, the return of Small PP Benedict Arnold Johnson, the traitor in the Windy City. Just going to get that return game out early. Just going to rip that Band-Aid right off. I don't know if the NFL is hoping this is a good storyline move or if the NFL is trying to get out ahead of Chicago being an absolute dumpster fire this year. Just get this game over with so that we can bill it early on. We can play the storylines. We can have talking points about Small PP Benedict Arnold Johnson, the traitor in the Windy City, returning to Detroit. Then come the end of the year when Chicago is sitting at 0-16, we are sitting at 16-0. That game doesn't really have much water to it other than the Lions being one of a handful of teams to finish with a perfect record. Right. So the big game early on here, Monday night, week 3, traveling to Baltimore. Now, during the Dan Campbell tenure, Baltimore has been a big pain in our ass. That is the one team that we have struggled mightily against. Now, obviously the 66-yard field goal that Justin Tucker hit with that goofy little crow hop that was an NFL record kicking field goal in Ford Field to beat the Lions a couple years back. That was a tough fought game, right? We weren't that bad of a team. We just had a couple of breaks not go our way, right? Well, look at where the Lions are at now as far as the court of public opinion and the how the public perceives us. We are darlings. We are America's team. And look at what Baltimore has done with that kicker that beat us and what he was able to do in the past couple of years. Clearly, one organization trending upwards. The other organization continues to have dumpster fires that they need to tend and put out regularly because their players tend to have some issues off the field. Now, would we ever expect it to come out of the opera singing kicker? No, but Baltimore did draft a guy like Mike Green, who has a history of issues off the field. They are the team that drafted Ray Rice, Ray Lewis. So some character flaws that Baltimore tends to shy away from, or not shy away from, that the Lions tend to shy away from. But that all being said, we have the Monday night game, Baltimore at Baltimore on ESPN, 8:15 p.m. We're going to have the A team of Troy and Joe calling the game. Is this the year? Is this the year that Dan Campbell finally beats Harbaugh, finally gets over that Baltimore hump? I'm saying yes. Look, yes, Lamar Jackson is arguably one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the NFL. The development and progression of Lamar Jackson's career, he will end up in Canton. I mean, he is one of only 2 guys to ever win a unanimous MVP, Tom Brady, the GOAT, being the other one. But Lamar Jackson came into the league as a player who was, a running back that could throw the ball for all intents and purposes. People were saying he needed to change positions. And Lamar Jackson has been able to develop his game into being more than just a running quarterback. He can diagnose defenses. He can throw the ball really, really well. He's become a elite level quarterback. Is this the year, though, that Lamar Jackson falls off? Highly unlikely. But is this the year that Detroit gets that monkey off their back 150%? Our defense, as long as we make it through the first 2 weeks without any significant injury, our defense should be good enough to take care of Lamar and company, and our offense is going to be absolutely electric. I think this is a game where you see what we're going to call classic JMO, 3 catches, 120 yards, and a touchdown. Amon-Ra doing Amon-Ra things, 10 for 110 and a touchdown. Yeah, I think what you'll see with this Baltimore game is week 3 at Baltimore is where you could really see Jared Goff This ties into what we were saying earlier about Jared Goff announcing that him and Mrs. Goff are expecting. Is this the year that Jared Goff wins the MVP and it starts week 3 at Baltimore? Is this the narrative story? Week 3 at Baltimore, Jared Goff starts his MVP campaign, goes and throws 5 touchdowns, no interceptions, almost 500 yards against Baltimore in an absolute trouncing Monday night, getting that monkey off our back, getting that Baltimore monkey off our back. Is this the year? I think this is the year, and I think this is the game. Why not? Why not? Why not? Why not this game? Monday night, primetime against Baltimore, and then you follow that up. So we're sitting at 3-0 after week 3 against Baltimore. You follow that up. Week 4, come home to take on the Cleveland Brownies. Another game where Dan Campbell lets his team do Dan Campbell things, and Jared Goff, after throwing for 5 touchdowns against Baltimore, comes in against Cleveland and absolutely decimates them, continuing his just MVP career or MVP trajectory this season. Down in the chat, Brent DeWitt, however, fact-checked it yet, but someone was saying that the Lions have 0 games this season against teams coming off a bye. What? The Lions have 0 games this season against teams coming off a bye. I like the idea of less rest. Oh. You know, Brent DeWitt. That's why I like you guys down in the chat. You guys are some serious information junkies. You guys got some seriously good information. That is a hell of an idea. That, I think, alone, you would have to think Vegas has thought about that, right? You'd have to think that Vegas has put some thought behind that, because that should really impact. If we play no teams coming off of a bye, Ooh, I like that. That makes that 10.5 over and under. Pardon me. That makes that 10.5 over under games. Ooh, I like that. Coming off the bye, and then we get to not only do teams not come off a bye playing us, but then, there's the Honolulu flu that everyone has to deal with, that hangover after us just beating the shit out of you, where you end up losing the following week. So I like that. So week 4, beat up on Cleveland down in the Brownies. We're at 4-0. Then we're going to travel the following week for another 4:30 matchup over down in Cincinnati, where they have an incredibly expensive offense between their 3 big players and cool Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase, who both account for $69 million against the cap combined. Very nice. This will be an interesting game for Chasing Chase, and we're going to travel down to Cincinnati. Going to have a little bit of a civil war there with your household. Excuse me, sorry about that. My allergies have been bananas. So after what could be projected as a relatively hard-fought game at Cincinnati, right? Now, they do have a good offense. We're getting into the just after the first, quarter of the season. We're getting into the meat and potatoes of it, where we're going to go from Cincinnati, which could be a hard-fought game, on a short turnaround. A nice short turnaround. Look at that. A short turnaround where the Lions on primetime. Oh, why wouldn't Kansas City get to host the Detroit Lions? Why would the league ever make Patrick Mahomes? Oh, our dear, sweet Patrick Mahomes. Why would we ever make him travel to such a hostile environment like Ford Field on a primetime game? Why would we ever make it that much more difficult for him? No. Other than the obligatory every 3rd year where we make Patrick Mahomes go and play in Buffalo, why would we ever make life difficult for Patrick Mahomes? We need those tickets. We need those eyeballs. We need to market Patrick Mahomes and the Swifties. We need all the money going into Kansas City that we possibly can. You see, because Andy Reid is a dirty piece of shit head coach who covers up murders and allows felons to play for him. So we need to justify that by having as much money come from the Chiefs as we possibly can. So the more eyeballs, the more primetime games, the more home games, the bigger narratives that we can have at Kansas City, the absolute better. Because as long as Kansas City keeps winning, winning is the best deodorant, and we can keep the stink of what the chefs do on and off the field, how dirty they are, how the refs are in their pocket, how they regularly cheat, how they consistently have players jump off sides that don't get called, lined up off sides that don't get called, lined up in bad positions that don't get called, the illegal formations that don't get called, the fact that we changed rules for the defense so that Patrick Mahomes can have a more illustrious career, so that we can market Patrick Mahomes more. That's what matters. That's what's first and foremost. We will never make Patrick Mahomes feel just a cunt hair uncomfortable by making him travel to one of the toughest places to play in the NFL, one of the most hostile environments, and that is the loud banger of a dome that is Ford Field. Ford Field on a fucking primetime game. You think that Patrick Mahomes would be able to succeed with all of you wild animals down there on a Thursday night? No, he'd have his hands full. It would be embarrassing. The NFL is just going to continue to try to play that Patrick Mahomes and Jared Goff, the Rams Chiefs game that was 51-52 a few years ago. No, dude. Make Patrick Mahomes feel uncomfortable. You say he's the greatest of all time without having any of the hardware to back it up compared to Tom Brady. Well, make his life hard. Make his life complicated. Fun fact, Taylor Swift looks just like Anton LaVea's daughters. Swifties are darker than initially thought. Hell yeah, Mr. Detroit City. So right here, we actually have a bit of a meat grinder. If the Bengals are good, so we got two what should be tough road stints, right? Cincinnati, Kansas City. The Lions come out of them, though, obviously victorious. So we're sitting at 6-0. And then we're going to have an extra day to recover. All right. So we're going to go from having the Thursday night game, going to have that extra day before our Monday night game against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't know where Tampa Bay is. I know that there's a Bay of Tampa, but I'm pretty sure the city is called Tampa. So the Tampa, Bay Buccaneers. And that's going to be, what do we got, a doubleheader that Monday night? 7 o'clock. On ESPN. So there's 3 games right there that could be absolute bruisers. We know Tampa plays us very, very well. That Todd Bowles defense has been aggressive since he took over. The Tampa, Bay Buccaneers have been a relatively tough team the past 3 years. Baker Mayfield has had a absolute resurgence. Down in the chat, look it up with you. Zena. I'm going to write this down. Zena LaVey? Anton LaVey? All right, yeah, Mr. Tracy, I'm going to look that shit up for real. Awesome. So after week 7, Detroit getting a nice mid-season bye week. Week 8, a good time to have a bye week. I don't like having a bye week any earlier than that. I would like to see the bye week come, week 14-ish. That way you can kind of have a little bit more of a refresher before a big playoff run. But considering the Lions are going to win 17 games this year, we're guaranteed to have a first-round bye in the playoffs. So that'll be a nice thing. So we'll have the bye week. Then we're going to stay home for Minnesota, right? Going to have Minnesota come in for a 1 o'clock game. Should be business as usual, taking care of business and working overtime. Work it. Then Sunday, November 9th. Following week, we're going to travel to a divisional round matchup against Washington. We have the NFC East, and this is going to start a little bit of an NFC East stretch where we're going to travel to Washington for a 4:30 game, divisional round rematch. Then the following Sunday, we're going to travel to Philly to take on the defending champs in a Sunday night prime time game where the Motor City Fighting Dan Campbells are going to do what we do best. We're going to do what we do best. Roll into the defending champs' house and beat them on prime time. That's exactly what's going to happen there. Lions are going to take care of business as usual. So after the Week 11 matchup against Philadelphia on a Sunday night primetime game, the Lions are sitting at a cool 10-0 before we go for our Sunday. Oh, wait, we don't play. I was right. I was right about Green Bay. I totally read that wrong about the Giants. So then we'll be home. Nice little home stretch here. We got the Giants November 23rd. That is the Sunday before Thanksgiving. 1 o'clock game against. I can't believe I read this wrong. We do get the Packers Thursday for Thanksgiving. So that is the narrative. I called that like a son of a bitch last week. The Lions going to have our last game of the season, regular season against Green Bay, where we're going to win. Obviously, if we're going to be 17-0, we're going to take it to the Packers. So we're 12-0 after Week 13. Going to have a nice 7 days off before we take on the Cowboys home. We got the Cowboys coming to Detroit for a very rare sighting a very, very rare sighting of the Dallas Cowboys coming to Detroit. It seems to go every 2-3 years we have to travel down there. We get one where they get to come here. But a little bit of hostility, a little bit of still, there are years of frustration that Lions fans have towards the Dallas Cowboys, so it'll be good to kind of unload on them. Prime Video, so very, very bad broadcast, so hopefully you guys have your Prime Video membership so that you can watch the Detroit Lions beat the ever-living shit out of the Dallas Cowboys here at home for a rare, God, that's so rare to see the Cowboys travel to Detroit. The following Sunday, obviously, our annual matchup against the Rams, where Jared Goff gets to square off against the LA Rams and Matt Stafford and his big fucking goofy white teeth. Can he beat his former team? No, because Jared Goff banged Sean McVay's wife on his way out the door, and they've never been right since then. Detroit will win the 3-game home stretch by a combined 50 points. Lock it in. Hell yeah. Are you talking the Giants, Packers, Cowboys 3-game home stretch? Yeah, I like that. I'll take it a step farther, Marcus Newsom. Good morning, Marcus Newsom. By the way, good morning. Glad to see you in here, buddy. Hopefully you're having a good start to your week, dude. I think the Lions put up 50 points in all 3 of those games. I think we go over 150 points in a 3-week span against the Giants. The Giants, I don't know, man. Their defense isn't completely porous, but their offense, a lot of question marks there. Green Bay is going to be a dud. They probably won't put up any points against us. And the Cowboys, honestly, if I was the Dallas Cowboys heading into Week 14, knowing how awful their team's going to be, knowing just like how much of a shit show Jerry has put that organization into, I would expect Thursday, December 4th, the Cowboys to just forfeit and not even travel. I would just expect the Cowboys to do that pussy shit and just refuse to play against a man-possessed Aiden Hutchinson who by week 14 should have about 52 sacks already, easily. After we beat the shit out of Matt Stafford and knock out his goofy white teeth down in LA, then we're going to play Pittsburgh at home. Who is going to be the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers? Green Bay is our little cousins now. Green Bay is like our inbred little cousins, dude. It's like saying they're our little cousins is like giving them too much credit, dude. Green Bay is just like it's that weird window licking cousin. You know what I'm saying? Like he arrives on the short bus with his little helmet. You know what I'm saying? So after we beat the shit out of Matt Stafford and his goofy white teeth, we travel back home for a little home cooking against Pittsburgh, who question mark around the quarterback position. Will it be Aaron Rodgers? Will it be Mason Rudolph? I mean, it could be anybody by this point. Stafford's 0-4 versus the Lions. He's going to be 0-5 after this year because Matt Stafford, Pad Statford. Oh, good old Pad Stafford. Oh, he's so good. He's so good. Matt Stafford was so good. You see how good Matt Stafford is? He was so good that when paired with a first ballot Hall of Fame wide receiver, he won a ton of playoff games, consistent, multiple divisional titles. Despite having a porous defense, he was able to do what all the greats do and elevate the play around him. The last thing Matt Stafford needed to do was never would he have ever had to go to an organization that had superstars on superstars on superstars and essentially buy his way to a championship. He was able to do it all on his own merits, really elevate everybody around him, take a team that was a dumpster fire, a laughing stock of the NFL, and completely turn it around to a perennial Super Bowl contender. Went 15-2 with the Detroit Lions, got a first-round bye after winning back-to-back divisional titles and playing in the NFC Championship game, getting a first-round bye as the number 1 seed. Oh, damn it. I confused Matt Stafford for Jared Goff. Whoopsie. Cheese Packers are a funny bunch. Yeah, dude. Kelly Stafford is a dirty dog. Kelly Stafford's a whore. Kelly Stafford's a whore. All right. Kelly Stafford. I'm going to be honest. Kelly Stafford's a whore and Matt Stafford's a cuck. She dated the backup quarterback at Georgia just to piss Matt Stafford off so that he would date her. He's a wiener. Matt Stafford's a wiener. Goff has more yards and tutties Stafford since the trade. No shit. Yeah, actually, isn't that something, Marcus Newsom? Jared Goff was, I mean, he was supposed to be a bridge quarterback at best, a guy who was trending into backup territory. Better start reading the clipboard because Jared Goff was a bust. He couldn't do it. He wasn't that guy. And Matt Stafford, Matt Stafford, right? The media, Matt Stafford, right? But Goff has better numbers. Yep. Goff didn't get that ring like Matt Stafford did. Matt Stafford walked into a ring, right? Goff doesn't have, but he's got better numbers. And not only that, not only does Matt Stafford have worse numbers, and Jared Goff is the far better quarterback than Matt Stafford. In a much shorter amount of time, Jared Goff has become so much more beloved by the Lions fandom than Matt Stafford ever could have been, regardless of what you think about Matt Stafford. Okay? Try and put your biases aside about Jared Goff, right? Jared Goff is a fucking hero here in Detroit. He is loved by the fandom. Even if he hits that wall and starts to flame out, Jared Goff will still always go out on top as far as the Detroit Lions organization is concerned because of what he meant to the state, to the people, and to the team, right? Slackjaw. I can't quite read that on stream, Mr. Detroit City, but yes. Yes, sir. You were 100% right. Same as 2 years ago, Lions third days against the Packers on Thanksgiving. NFL down wants us to beat the Cheeseheads. More than Allen, Jackson, etc. Yes, dude. Yes, they really do. Yes. You're Brent DeWitt. I completely agree with you. And Marcus Newsom, you get it, right? You get it. They just don't seem to understand how good Jared Goff has been, dude. Jared Goff should be an MVP candidate for the last 2 seasons, right? That's why I'm saying this year, Jared Goff, if John Morton does what John Morton should do with our offense, Jared Goff is going to throw for 5,000 yards and over 50 touchdowns. I'm telling you. I'm fucking telling you. With the players around him, with the system here, with the support of the unequivocal support that the coaching staff, the front office, and the fans, the trust that we have in Jared Goff. Jared Goff's going for 5,000 yards, right? He's going for 5,000 yards and 50-plus touchdowns. Jared Goff wins MVP. The only person... There is one player in the NFL. There is one player in the... a CD, exactly, Mr. Detroit City. Exactly. There is one player in the NFL as it sits right now, May 19th, 2025. There's one guy that I'm telling you will be able to compete with Jared Goff for the MVP. Okay, Jared Goff's going to run away with the MVP, right? Jared Goff's going to win MVP, 5,000 plus, 50 plus touchdowns, single-digit interceptions. We're talking 50 touchdowns to 6 interceptions, right? And he gets all 6 of those interceptions before week 10. Goff for MVP, the only player that's going to be able to push Jared Goff for MVP. Telling you right now, is the defensive MVP, Aiden Hutchinson. That's right. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Aiden Hutchinson's going to have nearly as many sacks as Jared Goff is going to have touchdowns this year. I'm telling you. Thursday, December 25th on Netflix. Isn't that Christmas? Isn't that? No. When's? Yeah, I don't know. Regardless, Netflix game. I don't have a Netflix subscription, so we will be getting a trial for that week to watch the Lions beat the shit out of Minnesota to move to 16-0. And then week 18, outdoors, Chicago. Game to be determined. Now, with it being flexed like this, the NFL is expecting there to be a storyline there. Now, the storyline will be there, but it's not the storyline they're thinking. No. The story will be, is this the week that small PP Benedict Arnold Johnson, the trader in the Windy City, the last week of the regular season, is this the week that the Chicago Bears get their first victory and become the first team to avoid going 0-17? Also, is this the week that the Detroit Lions get their first loss of the season? Or will they remain perfect against their former offensive coordinator, the most brilliant man in the NFL, small PP Benedict Arnold Johnson, the trader in the Windy City? And the answer is no. The Bears do not get their first victory of the season. They move to 0-17. The Lions trounce the Bears, dropping another 50-burger, and move to 17-0, getting their first round bye and just the easiest path to the Super Bowl. The Lions become the first team in NFL history to have a perfect regular season. Jared Goff throws for over 5,000 yards, over 50 touchdowns. Aiden Hutchinson sets the single-season sack record with plus 30 sacks. And the Lions not only are perfect on the regular season, but pitch shutout games during the playoffs. They don't get scored upon during any of the playoff games, let alone the Super Bowl, where the Lions will face Week 3's opponent, the Baltimore Ravens, in a rematch where everyone has marketed that the Lions are 1-3 and under Dan Campbell again, or 1-2, 1-3 under Dan Campbell against the Baltimore Ravens. In which case, the Lions drop another 50-burger and shut out the Baltimore Ravens in the biggest Super Bowl smashing in NFL history. What do you think about that? Who's going to have more sacks, Stafford or Hutch? Yeah, well, see, that's the thing. We beat the Poos by 20. Lock it in. Hell yeah, dude. I'm glad to see you guys are drinking the same coffee and Kool-Aid that I'm drinking over here. Pics leaks of Ben painting toes with Caleb. I wouldn't be surprised, Mr. Detroit City. Oh, dude, you know what I should do? I should get on Grok and try and make some goofy pictures of Ben Johnson doing that type of shit, painting fucking Caleb's toenails. They could have little sleepovers with their girly little footy pajamas on, braiding each other's hair. Man, fuck the Bears. Fuck Ben Johnson. Fucking piece of shit. That piece of shit. All right, guys. Look, I could try and ram through this this article real quick. I'm going to be honest, guys. I know it'll happen. I'll try and read it fast, and we'll end up being here till a little after 11, and then I'll be super dog-fucked. So, guys, today we talked about some rule changes. The Lions are heading up one of them that would change the seeding of the NFL playoffs after the wild card week. As well as the tush push will be voted on. Personally, I don't think the NFL approves either of these proposals. I don't expect much change to happen. These type of things need to be brought 2-3 times before a big change like that can happen. The tush push, I think, has better odds of being changed than the Lions' proposal for the playoffs. That's just my opinion. Then we went through painstakingly weeks 1 through 18, all of the Lions matchups, and it's pretty hard to see where we're going to lose. I got the Lions going 17-0. Jared Goff winning league MVP. Hutch winning defensive MVP. Excuse me, sorry about all them bodily functions, fellas. It should be a pretty good, easy path for the Detroit Lions on their way to the Super Bowl. Let's go ahead and check out the poll. 4 of you voted. I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, I am for real. Good for you guys. So we're going to head and end the poll. We're 100% accuracy on that. After Bears and bend over Johnson. Oh, why did I think of that, Brent DeWitt? Bend over Johnson. Ooh, why didn't I think of that? The Benedict Arnold Johnson is so cheesy and right there, but bend over Johnson. Small PP, bend over Johnson, the trader in the Windy City. I like that. I like that bend over Johnson. I got to figure out something for that. So, guys, we're going to keep it short and tight. Got to get into work. Got to bang out these 410s so that I can have a long holiday weekend. Appreciate you guys tuning in. And thanks for sharing this around. I really do appreciate you guys helping us grow here. Thanks for tuning in every day. You guys make it, seriously, make my days a lot better getting to hang out with you guys in the morning, getting to talk a little Lions football. Never heard anybody ram it right down Stafford's throat city. Get it? Get it with his big, goofy, fucking white teeth. Ugh. Matt Stafford's just a fucking douche. He's just a douche, man. He's just a douche. So, All right, now that I've swore up a storm, yeah, that's about it. We'll be back tomorrow, guys, for another. It'll be again a little bit more condensed episode, but again, we're on time restraints, so Ben Johnson doesn't have a safe word. No, he doesn't, because Ben Johnson's a bitch. Ben Johnson's a bitch. Ben Johnson's a bitch. He's a bitch. All right. So, stay out of trouble. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll talk about some news and stuff and just kind of chew the fat. So, until tomorrow, I've been Hat and Beard. You've been an attentive audience. Bonga bonga. Frig off.